welcome to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be discussing my very first colonic appointment. Yes, it is now March in 2021, but I just wanted to share my experience of this appointment, which I had done towards the end of December last year. So if you're considering a colonic and you are interested in finding out how that experience went for me, stay tuned. I must say that a colonic is something that I first heard about when Usher mentioned it in an interview years ago. So Usher, the singer, I can't remember what magazine or media house was interviewing him, and he mentioned it, and I found it pretty interesting. I knew nothing of it, but he raved about it being so helpful and useful as a self-care process. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then a few years went by, and lo and behold, it became a more popular thing. You heard more and more people publicly speaking on it. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, it took some time, and eventually some local businesses started offering the services of, well, colonic services, and I was still skeptical. Yes, it is a very uncomfortable thing to put yourself in that position because you feel vulnerable. So even though it was something that I was interested in experiencing, I was very, very wary, because as much as you hear people rave about the positives, you hear people, like certain medical personnel would say, well, you need to be careful because it could potentially like puncture your colon and that sort of thing. So me being a person who have always suffered with digestive issues from birth, I was hesitant. But eventually I wanted to start 2021 on a positive note, given the disaster that 2020 was for all of us. And I just took a chance. One day I was sitting in my living room and I decided, here's what, I need to just go do this. Leave all the mess, pun intended, of 2020 in last year. So I did some Google research, found a few local businesses close to my house that offered the service. Did a little bit of snooping on Facebook and found one that I was comfortable with. Okay, so today is Wednesday, 30th December 2020, and I'm heading to my first colonic appointment. I am scared. Not really scared. I'm just concerned that it's gonna be a bit uncomfortable. So wish me luck. I will get back on after the appointment is completed and let you know what it was like. I would not recommend the place because I took at least an hour before I was seen. So I had an appointment for a particular time. I'm usually someone who is very mindful of being early, so I got there like 20 minutes before my appointment time, but I didn't want to rush, so I sat down in the car and waited until about 10 minutes before the appointment time, and I walked in, and I wasn't seen until probably an hour and 15 minutes after I arrived. So yeah, it took a while, but I was determined to follow through on the experience. It, like I said, it was something that I had considered for a long time, and I was there. I didn't necessarily have anything else planned for the day, so I was willing to wait. But it's not something that I am prepared to do in the future, given how the scheduling went, and there was no apology from the business owner. So I proceeded. I asked a few questions beforehand, and then, well, I was asked to complete a questionnaire, like typical things about, I guess, your digestive habits, perhaps your medical history. I think that was about it. The procedure took about between 30 to 45 minutes. I can't remember because I didn't have on a watch. So or even if I did, I can't remember like actually paying attention to the time. But in my mind, it took around that time. Yeah, it was a little bit uncomfortable. It definitely wasn't painful. I thought it was going to be painful, but it was not painful at all. It was just a little bit uncomfortable because of the pressure that you will feel in your colon because of the water that they put in there to flush everything out. So it was a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know how often I should say I would do it, but I definitely did feel good like a day or two after. Okay, so immediately following the service, you really have to get everything out. Thankfully, the business that I went to get this procedure done, well, I should say service done, they allowed me to use the facilities for as long as I needed to. And yeah, it will take some time. So I think up to, let's say, up 2 hours afterwards, you should stay close to a bathroom or a toilet, I should say, to just make sure that everything that's in there flushes out. After about, I would say, like the next day or 2 days later, I think I was okay. I can't say that I was feeling anything in particular, but I think mentally I was just trying to process what just took place. So for me it was, all right, I think I'm feeling lighter. I don't know. But 2 days later, I was definitely feeling lighter. The good thing was that following the procedure, they gave me a list of dietary guidance. So eat this, don't eat this. And generally, it was like to avoid processed foods, eat more fruits and vegetables, and avoid meats, avoid eggs, avoid dairy. So I understand, because as the young lady who assisted me, she explained, you're really trying to allow your colon time to readjust, because you literally just took everything, wiped it clean. You don't want to necessarily dump everything right back on it all at once. So it was interesting adjusting my diet following the procedure, but I understand the benefits of doing that. So I would just sum up. Would I recommend it? Yes. I would say definitely, if you can get a personal recommendation, meaning someone who would have gotten the procedure done, and they can vouch for the facility that offers the procedure, then I would say choose that. Don't do like me and just randomly Google search somebody locally or around your area and don't have like a personal reference, because yeah, it's your body. But all in all, I think the colonic is something that I would try doing again. Not sure when, but sometime in the future. Anyway, If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos. Talk to you soon. Bye.